It has finally clicked with me why so many people love and adore Sharpay. Now I know, you're shocked. I've been doing a lot of content about how Sharpay is a metaphor for white supremacy, and listen, she is, but I love Sharpay too. When I was 12, I was also obsessed with Sharpay, okay? I was fighting my cousin and my sister for the Sharpay solos on High School Musical Sing It, okay? Like, listen, I am Sharpay, I am the star. You are Ryan at best. But there's a recent interview with Ashley Tisdale where she was talking about, that Sharpay got a lot of love that they were not expecting for her to be such a hit with everyone. And when they asked the kids, what they really enjoyed about Sharpay, it was just that, she knew what she wanted and she was doing it. And I thought this was really interesting because when we talk about the status quo, right, I've also spoken about on this channel the childlike wonder that comes with the status quo, right? The ability to have the confidence to do it, to break free of the status quo and know what you want to do, right? And just pursue that despite what everyone else thinks. And that's what people were seeing in Sharpay. Now, Sharpay's status quo has to do with kind of the power play of white supremacy and all the shit that she does in that movie. But specifically, I thought it was interesting because the big thing about Troy, in breaking free of the status quo, is that he is trying to evaluate, A, what he wants to do versus the status quo. This is what you should do because you're a man and you're a basketball guy, right? We are putting you into these boxes that maybe you want to break out and do something different. But because of the status quo, because of the environment that the status quo has developed, right, you don't really feel confident in doing that. Like, you're questioning yourself and you're questioning the people you're in friends with, and you're just like, I don't know, do I conform? I don't really want to deal with this, right? In the way that Sharpay, I've talked about this a lot, she really isolates herself from everyone, and that's not the goal. We want everybody to be, we're all in this together at the end of the day. So you shouldn't be like Sharpay and isolating yourself, but something we can take from Sharpay is that if she can do it, you can do it. And you kind of gotta not give a fuck. Now, granted, like I said, Sharpay really isn't a great example of this because she does it in such a mean way, so she's not, living so much in her truth that, she hasn't ended up with friends because nobody likes her because she doesn't fit into the status quo. She's literally just a nasty person. Sorry, High School Musical 2, I'm sure y'all have seen it. She's nasty in that movie. But I do think it's really interesting, when we think about childlike wonder, which Gabriella has mentioned in the first movie when she said, singing with Troy was like the first day of kindergarten, right? Where you just meet someone, you don't have any expectations of each other, you can just be who you are, right? And this calls back to, in The Boys Are Back, the conversation before then, when Chad says, when you're on stage, you're like 5 people, and they're like, well, when we were hanging out in the junkyard as kids, we were 10 people. We could be superheroes, we could be rock stars, we can be anybody, right? That idea of childlike wonder and having the curiosity, having the courage to explore and not give a fuck what anybody thinks, and just be who you are. Because of the status quo, it really hinders everybody from just being who they are, right? And to see someone just do that so openly, and it makes sense that kids would resonate with that, right? Like I said, when you're a kid, you're not thinking about all the shit Sharpay is doing, okay? You're just watching it. There is a difference between watching it for fun and watching it critically like I am, with the perspective of, I'm doing an analysis on this to explore how we see these themes come up in these movies. So this makes total sense why Sharpay is a hit with the kids. I do think, like I said, we can all enjoy things for fun. It doesn't always have to be analyzing if you don't want it to be. I just happen to be doing that. But I do think it's probably some of the issue with people having a hard time acknowledging the issues with Sharpay, right? I think we can both hold the nuance of we all love Sharpay. We can appreciate that fact, or we can watch something and take something positive out of it, even if she still does all these horrible things. I really do think you can. It really is what you decide to take, what the message you take. So I think that is a great message for kids to take, obviously. We don't want them to take the other message, which would be hey, let's see how we can sabotage these Troy and Gabriella, okay? The message we're supposed to learn from that movie is, we're all in this together. But once that clicked for me, I was like, oh my god, no fucking wonder. But like I said, I think people, guys, we can have the nuanced conversation of, we love Sharpay, diva, we love her. But also, yeah, she did a lot of wrong things. A lot of wrong things, okay? Especially High School Musical 2. She was particularly nasty. I've already said this, but, like, she really was. She was like, you'll associate with the dishwashers, Ryan? We're above that. But I think the key takeaways that we can learn from this is that, hey, lean into your childlike wonder, explore, be curious, try to be brave and be confident in what you want to do. I think we're all just trying to do that in our own ways. And, you know, it's hard to do that when you have been bogged down by the status quo. It's ultimately part of High School Musical. What do you guys think? Is that why you think Sharpay has resonated for all the kids? Like I said, I enjoy Sharpay, and she has great songs.